What's up gamers, DreamcastGuy here, and it's Top 10 Thursday. News in the gaming world is kinda strange. It seems before any studio can officially announce their own major projects, somebody lets things slip. Whether it be an angry ex-employee agreeing to do an interview, somebody posting photos of an unfinished product, or hackers getting access to the code before it's done. These can be small errors that are just overlooked, or massive things that cost a company millions. This week, I wanted to look back through the pages of time and count down the top 10 biggest leaks in gaming history. Number 10. Star Wars Battlefront 3. LucasArts has always been a studio known for being the masters of keeping secrets. Since they were the heads of the Star Wars gaming division, they took privacy very seriously, which is why it came as a bit of a shock when suddenly images started showing up online of a Battlefront 3. This was a completely unknown project that looked pretty far into development. The person who posted it said that the game was cancelled, the team destroyed, and any hopes of it being done were ruined. This caused quite a stir among Star Wars fans, and even today, people are curious why it was killed. Number 9. Doom 3 Demo. I'm sure I don't need to tell you that Doom is a huge brand. This series is one of the godfathers of the modern first-person shooter. In 2002, John Carmack himself stepped out on stage at E3 to show off the opening levels of Doom 3. To say people went crazy for it would be a huge understatement. In fact, rumor has it that a group of gamers managed to pressure one of the designers into posting this entire E3 demo online anonymously. Even though this was only the first level of Doom, it was furious. They basically had a chunk of their upcoming game put out there for free a full 2 years before launch. Number 8. Crysis 2. In 2011, people everywhere were hotly anticipating the release of Crysis 2. The original Crysis had pushed the limits of gameplay and graphics in a whole new way, and gamers were curious where this next one would take us. Their wait got a little shorter because the full game was leaked a month early. This build was playable from start to finish, had all the cutscenes and only minor unpatched glitches. As you can imagine, it was quickly spread across the web like the plague. Every torrenting site on the planet had it on the front page. Crytek could never find out exactly where this copy came from, but at least now they hold the world record as one of the most pirated games of all time. Number 7. Super Smash Bros. Wii U characters. This one might sound small. After all, it's just a few pictures of a character list. However, that's not how Nintendo saw it. They'd planned to show off a major fighter every few weeks leading up to their next press conference to whip fans into a frenzy. This was a great idea that was ripped to shreds the instant photos of a full character roster started showing up on forums. Here is where Nintendo got slightly scary. They sent out a team of lawyers and private investigators to find out where the info came from and to shut down anyone who was reposting it. After this, everything went dark. The pictures utterly vanished, places that were discussing the photos suddenly went silent, and Smash Bros. Fans learned a valuable lesson. Don't piss off Nintendo. Number 6. Duke Nukem Forever's original version. This game was in production for an insane 15 years. In that time, a lot of different teams worked on it, but only Gearbox was able to finally finish it. Sadly, the version of Duke Nukem Forever we got kinda sucked. This is when digital detectives started digging, and what they found was rare footage of the original version of the game. Obviously, this isn't complete and most likely not even playable, but it shows how different the game was. Sections of it look creepy, bosses look more menacing, and things appear to move a lot faster. Perhaps 3D Realms was trying to make Duke a little more realistic, slightly more down to earth, and the fight against these aliens all the more vicious. Unfortunately, not much more is known about this footage, and it's disappointing to think that this really could be the last we ever see of Duke Nukem. Number 5. StarCraft 2's final cutscene. Storytelling in games seems to get better and better over time. Brilliant writers keep finding new ways to make us love the heroes and hate the villains, all while personally getting to take part in the plot itself. A good story does more than just sell games, it moves us as gamers. Because of this, if you're a developer and you know your story is awesome, you need to make damn sure no one finds out about it, especially not 2 years before your product comes out. Somehow, that's exactly what happened with Heart of the Swarm. Right after Blizzard had finished a rough draft of the final cutscene, it turned up online. The ending was so bizarre that most people weren't even sure if it was real. Well, that is until all the videos started disappearing because of lawsuits. Number 4. Star Fox 2. While a majority of the items on this list are just parts of big games, here we have a leak that's essentially a finished title. Nintendo secretly made this during the mid-90s but never released it. It's thought that this was intended to be one of the last Super Nintendo games. Something nice to send the console off in style. As the launch of the Nintendo 64 got closer though, they just canned the whole thing. Thankfully, one of the guys who worked on Star Fox 2 loved the project so much that he put out a nearly finished build of it online. This totally rocked the gaming world. We were basically getting a rare look into the heart of Nintendo and realized that even though they have a very happy public persona, they're a company in a constant internal civil war. Even a multi-million-dollar game like Star Fox 2 can be cancelled and forgotten if someone high up in the company just doesn't like it. Number 3. Basically everything Halo. Master Chief is a 7-foot-tall badass who saved humanity about 50 times over. Somehow, that doesn't guard him from hackers loving to mess with his games. Literally every title in the series since Halo 2 has been stolen and leaked online weeks before release. Even Halo Reach, which they invented all new security measures to protect, was tapped into and put out there for free. Right now, there's a Russian-only exclusive version of Halo called Halo Online that lets players enjoy the multiplayer of the franchise on computers. Sounds fun, right? Well, hackers have already found a way to unlock that and make it accessible to anyone in the world. In fact, Halo Online has been hacked so much there are entire forums of people just casually talking strategy on the best way to enjoy this leaked game. I bet that whenever we get Halo 6, it'll magically show up on the internet super early as always. Number 2. Mass Effect 3's explosive ending. One of the most controversial moments in all of gaming is the ending to Mass Effect 3. After spending hundreds of hours in this awesome sci-fi trilogy, the game concludes with a simple A, B, or C choice. Do you want a green explosion, a blue explosion, or a red explosion? Fans were outraged and they demanded that EA write something more fitting to this series. What many people don't know is there already exists a different plotline altogether. The head writer of Mass Effect 1 and 2 did the original outline for Mass Effect 3 as well, and he wanted things to go a bit more magical. In an interview, he said they wanted everything to revolve around the idea of dark energy, a form of magic that only organic life could use but had the side effect of slowly tearing apart the fabric of reality. He wanted to end the story making the gamer question exactly how evil the Reapers really are, and personally, I think that sounds a lot cooler than what we got in the final game. Number 1. The Half-Life 2 Hacker. If you stole one of the most anticipated games in history, would you turn yourself in? Surprisingly, that's what the man who leaked Half-Life 2 did. Axel Gembe was a very skilled hacker who specialized in cracking his way into servers and copying all the information undetected. When he discovered they were making a sequel to his favorite game, he decided to try and tap into Valve's network and see what he could find. Once inside, he was able to see detailed notes on the development of Half-Life 2, and he was also able to download all of the source code. Axel claims that he did this just because he wanted to be the first person in the world to try it out, but somehow the code also ended up online and got shared everywhere. He felt so bad about this happening, he decided to email Gabe Newell, the CEO of Valve, directly. In this message, he confessed what he did, apologized for the lost sales, and he asked for a job as their new security specialist. Instead of getting a new job, Axel was arrested. It's such a crazy complicated tale that it's almost beyond belief, and for that reason I am awarding it my pick as the absolute biggest leak in gaming. Did your favorite piece of news not make the list? Got an idea for a future top 10? Leave it in the comments down below. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up, share with your friends, and subscribe if you haven't already. But do me the biggest favor of all and keep dreaming. You know what? This week is actually my birthday. I'm turning 30 years old, and I want you to actually do something very special for me. In the comments, tell me your favorite game and why you love it so much. I'm being serious here. I want to know all sorts of extra cool games so I have something cool to look into for my birthday and maybe something cool to buy myself. So yeah, that would be awesome. Thank you. Oh, and go follow me on Twitter. Thanks so much for watching. If you liked this video, maybe check out my last video. Please subscribe, and if you want, share this somewhere with your friends.